Autism is an epidemic that has doctors, researchers, and families puzzled. And while the controversial debate on what causes autism continues, parents are left struggling to find their own solutions on how to most effectively treat the disorder. But despite their frustration, many parents are following their intuition that their child can get better. These are the stories of hope and success.
The pediatrician was always saying, boys mature slower, they talk later, he's just active, you know, blah, blah, blah. And we felt something was wrong. Asked him at 12 months, asked him when Dante was 18 months. And that part originally was very frustrating because as a parent you felt something was wrong. And the messages you were getting was something's wrong with you. You know, why do you think something's wrong with your child?
There were times where I was really overwhelmed, and I think I wish for a way to make it less overwhelming for parents with newly diagnosed kids, because it shouldn't be so hard. There should be a little bit more of a path.
For parents like Lisa Stalteri and Jennifer Spaeth, their willingness to persevere outweighed their frustrations. Through sheer determination and believing in a positive outcome, they found help from a variety of sources and have shared their experiences with other parents. What they've come to realize is that there isn't a one-size-fits-all treatment method. Because each child displays different characteristics of autism, the key is finding the right combination of treatments for each individual child.
Dante, he had a lot of sensory issues. So I think the two things that probably worked for him was the occupational therapy and the biomedical supplements. And then later, when he was 6, he started applied behavior analysis, ABA, that really focused on socialization. And that made a huge difference for him.
I think that at the core of it, he needed to have really amazing teachers that could teach him in a way that he could learn. And ABA has been an amazing intervention for him, and he has an ABA agency that uses a lot of play and fun motivation so that he can learn. But in addition to that, his body and his mind has to be in a place to learn. He has to be able to focus enough to learn. And a lot of that came through biomedical interventions. It came through chelation and vitamin supplements and hyperbaric oxygen chamber therapy.
Through trial and error, support from other parents, and working with caring professionals, these parents have seen their children do things that were thought to be impossible for people with autism.
When you start to see something in there and you start to see a little person responding to you, it gives you such hope. I mean, you think, well, maybe he can go to school, maybe he can have a life, maybe he can live independently, you know, maybe he can have friends. He's a normal boy. I mean, he's charming and beautiful, and he hugs me and he laughs. He seeks out friends now. That was never possible when we started.
The biggest thing with my particular child, they're all different, but the biggest thing is listening to her. She actually tells you what she needs, and if you listen to her, she'll tell you. And I listened to her finally, you know, instead of listening to everyone else. And she basically said she needs more recess. She can't sit for that long. She needs less homework. She needs to have more time to do math. She can't have timed tests and things like that. It's really hard on her to know that she's being timed, to allow her to have more of projects.
There was really no magic bullet for him, but for him the foundation was ABA with a really, you know, with a reputable agency, and with the addition of speech and OT, and we did the gluten-free, casein-free diet. But without the foundation of ABA, you know, in our home every day, I mean, we saw improvement day to day, week to week. And he's finally graduated from ABA. I didn't know if my child would be able to speak and communicate, but with the combination of therapy that he had, he's talking, speaking, writing, making stories and books, and, you know, having two-way conversations.
the speech therapy, the occupational therapy, the play groups, and the facilitated play dates. Those all helped. But anytime he went to an intervention, I always inquired from the teacher, what was he learning, what was he having difficulty with, and then I would go home and do what they did at home. So that, combined with a nice, organized, focused, living space and communications from the family, worked together to really help him get where he is now. I still have to pinch myself when I see how independent he can be and conscious and mature. It's a fabulous feeling. I still can't believe I'm experiencing this relief and this euphoria when I see things that were so difficult in earlier years be so easy for him now.
We have really benefited from ABA, and that was something that I didn't find out about except through other parents, how great it was and how it could really help us. And I probably wouldn't have fought for it if it weren't for encouragement from the parents that I talked with. So by networking with other parents of special needs kids, it encouraged me to pursue the ABA, and it has been the one thing that I think has benefited us the most.
Amanda is this amazing child. She's really, really creative. You never know today where she started out. She had what's referred to as floor therapy. So we worked with a clinical psychologist and we would do role plays with her. So we would use stuffed animals and puppets and toys, and now, you know, you see her sparkly blue eyes and she's got, you know, her personality shows through.
This group represents merely a fraction of the parents who are trailblazing their own path in an effort to find the best treatment options for their children. Their stories are many, too many in fact for this documentary, and they know there are more success stories to be shared. These parents want to encourage families who have children with autism to come forward and share experiences in the hopes of bringing more attention to these inspiring solutions.
What we have started to notice is that so many of the families that we work with who have children with autism are seeing a really big improvement in their children. And we're seeing it in such a widespread way that we thought it was time to really pay attention to that. If certain kinds of treatments are working for large numbers of people, then that's important information for everybody who works with children with autism to have, for school districts, for teachers, people who are making decisions about the money that goes to autism treatment. So I think it's really important information to have to base sort of the further goals of how autism is treated.
As the quest to find the cause for autism continues, there are parents on their own mission to find the best course of action to improve their children's lives. Together they are sharing their stories and helping other families along the way.
If you have a child with autism, you should know that there is hope.
My child and many others are improving.
It hasn't been easy, but all of us have found the right mix of treatments that work for our children.
We can help each other out by sharing success stories.
Please help us get the word out to parents, teachers, doctors, researchers, and decision makers.
Together, we can find the best path for each child.
Now is the time to speak up.
You are not alone.
We can make our children's lives better, together.
One story at a time.
We need to hear from you.
For more information on how you can share your story, log on to PARCA.org or call the number on your screen.